Hey everybody, it's Abishur Prakash, aka Mr. Geopolitics. The world is bracing for the summit in Alaska between President Trump and President Putin. This is the most critical point of the Ukraine-Russia war since it began over 3 years ago. It's also quite surprising that Putin will be traveling to a US military base to meet with Trump, something that wouldn't have even been expected in the best of times. Of course, US-Russia relations are at an all-time low today. There are some indicators of what to expect. The Russians want a framework for peace before a ceasefire is implemented. The Americans may push for lifting some sanctions on Russia, particularly with energy and agriculture. So where does this leave the world? Number one, the conditions are forming for Ukraine to be pressured into some kind of ceasefire or peace deal. Trump may approach Kyiv based on what's agreed to in Alaska by offering that as the final option, the final card before America cuts its support for Ukraine or even walks away, pushing the Ukraine war into a dangerous position. Second is that Europe is currently mute on the idea of sanctions relief. If the US lifts sanctions on Russia, it puts Europe's existing sanctions playbook on an awkward position. Europe may use this as a bargaining chip with America, meaning if the US wants Europe to align with it on sanctions relief on Russia, then Europe may ask America for concessions in other areas like trade. Third, countries like China, India, Turkey, Brazil will be watching the summit very closely. If the US lifts some sanctions like on Russia energy, it diffuses the threat of secondary sanctions, meaning the current catalyst for US-India tensions will cease to exist. Just as the Russia-Ukraine war changed the world, what's agreed to in Alaska has the same potential. All of this assumes both leaders agree on something and don't walk away empty-handed. I hope you resonated with this episode of Geopolitics in 2 minutes. Leave your comments below and talk soon.